This company Odys has been popping up a lot lately. I've mostly been hearing about them in podcasts. And what they do is they curate and sell aged domains. So domains that were online before and either I don't know if they drop or if they buy them from someone, but somehow they've came into possession of them, and before they used to have some kind of content on them, and they've probably gotten some kind of backlinks. And you can see them, I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them down here. So it looks like they're selling them for, well, about 3,000 euros each. I think that works out to about 4 to 5,000 USD. And the premise behind it is that by publishing your site or publishing content on an age domain with backlinks, you get some kind of jump start. And that's very appealing because, as you know, when you're publishing a content website, for the first year, you can get absolutely no traction. When a site is new, it can be very hard to really make anything happen. And certainly there's a noticeable preference for Google to, move sites that are older up higher in the rankings. So, this is kind of a very appealing thing for authority and niche website builders. And well, I know John Dykstra has mentioned that he's building a site on an age domain that I think he bought from Odys to see how it goes for him. And I know a lot of people in the industry are kind of jumping all over these age domains. And that has me thinking, does this work, and is this really a long-term solution? So interestingly enough, I found a site that was built on an age domain. I was browsing here through dealfeed.io, which I use to look for websites that are for sale. It's run by a guy named Mushfiq. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But he has an awesome email list. I actually love his emails. He does very good emails, and he curates a lot of websites that are for sale. And I found this one right here, 7-month-old Amazon affiliate site in pet niche, $10,978 per month. Now I'm seeing 7-month-old in $10,978. We'll call it $11,000 a month. I'm seeing those numbers right next to each other. I'm going, holy shit, how did they do this? Right? So I went on over to the brokerage site, which is Motioninvest. Anybody can register and look through these websites for free. And this was the listing I came to. First thing that stood out, or second thing that stood out, in addition to the 7-month-old and roughly $10,000 a month in revenue, is the name, barkva.org. It is very uncommon for somebody in the content publishing business to use a .org. And the name barkva.org, just, the VA in there didn't really seem like a content website. I'm like, okay, this is kind of interesting. So I come down, I start scrolling down, and it looks like at this point it's already been sold or somebody bought it. I first ran across this website a couple weeks ago. So it was a couple weeks ago before making this video that I actually found it. And I'm looking at this, domain authority, 148 articles, okay, whatever. These numbers in and of itself they're not unplausible. They're plausible numbers. These are realistic. It could be doing this. But when you throw in that 7 months, it's kind of like, all right, that's weird. It's really weird, actually. So I'm coming through it. Traffic, it looks like it's blown up quickly. So when you see traffic blow up quickly, the first thing that always kind of comes to my mind when I see that is backlinks, right? What kind of backlinks are they building? Because I've done some other publishing on this and talking about it. A lot of these sites are what I call pump and dump affiliate sites. They blow up fast. Somebody, has a bunch of backlink hacks. They get backlinks from somewhere. The traffic just goes up real quick in a year, and they're making $10,000, $20,000 a month, and then they just sell it. And then, months later, the site tanks. So I didn't plan on digging up examples of that, but there are certainly countless examples out there, and I've found them, websites that are for sale that I've looked at and now gone back a year later, and I see them, and literally I pop them into SEMrush. The traffic is down 75%. That's not what this is illustrating. This is just illustrating because it's an incomplete month when they took this screenshot. But we're coming down. I believe the income, backlinks are usually where the problem is. And that's where I see the backlink analysis. So I downloaded the backlink analysis. And right here, the first thing that jumped out at me is this first link, first seen 8/14/16. That's 5 years ago. Right? But the site is only 7 months old. Okay, so we've got 5-year-old links on a 7-month-old site. We got another one. That's 6 years old. That's a 3 or 4-year-old link. probably a 5-year-old link or so, 4 or 5-year-old link. All of these, most of these links, it's very clear that they were built more than 7 months ago. Okay, so what's going on? So, then I wanted to start looking at them, and I wanted to see where the link was. Where is it? What is this? Referring page URL. This command is Z that. Oops. Testing my Excel skills here. So I want to see that, and I want to see that. No. Let's just go. Not doing too well in Excel this morning. This one right here, Lane Photo Workshops. That's weird, a weird link to be coming to an affiliate site. Volunteer opportunities for kids in Richmond. That's weird. Oh, that really doesn't matter. Charity reviews. All right. Give this season with donations, right? So now it's kind of coming together. This site was something else, and that .org was indicating or indicative of a site that is some kind of nonprofit. That's when it hit me. They built this site on an aged domain. Now, I do not know if where is it? I do not know if Odys was involved in this site or if they got the domain from Odys, but this could have been a domain that Odys would sell. This is definitely a domain that Odys would sell. It is something they could have got from Odys. I do not know if they got it from Odys, but they clearly built bark.va on an aged domain. And we can pop it into archive.org. I actually haven't done this. We can pop it in here and see what it looked like before. Maybe. Probably, actually. Yeah, okay, so you can see it goes back to 2006. In 2016, let's just see if it's got a screenshot. I don't use archive.org too much. I know it exists, but really only pull it up if I need to look at something. There we go. Yeah, so this was some kind of adoption and rescue of dogs. I don't know exactly what it is, but looks like they had a clinic, 2 clinics. Oh no, they had a clinic, then they did something with PetSmart, but they had their own physical location, and they got a lot of backlinks through volunteering opportunities and being associated with a nonprofit. And subsequently, I mean, you can see the performance here when somebody started publishing authority content or affiliate content on it. This thing just took off, right? So clearly it worked in getting them the traffic, and building on an age domain worked. But the real question is, will this stand the test of time, and will it still work going forward? My guess on that is it won't, right? My guess on that is that it will not. You got to think about it. Google always wants to do what's best for the end user. And they're rewarding this site based on a bunch of backlinks that they think, a bunch of backlinks that make them think this site is about donations. But it is not about donations. It is truly a content website at this point. Now, whoever created it, has some links up here, and I guess they're trying to keep it, as closely relevant to what it is. And it looks like, yeah, they're trying to kind of tie this into some type of dog program. One of these, I think this is a type of program where inmates train dogs and care for dogs in like minimum security facilities. So it looks like they're trying to kind of tie it in this so that in with this so that it's not totally separate, because they probably realize the risk, but at the same time, what is getting all the traffic on this site is, like electric dog fence right here. And their subsequent pages for it, right? Best electric dog fences, right? I mean, this site is fundamentally, with all their traffic, they're not a site about donations and dog adoptions. They're a site about getting affiliate traffic at this point and getting organic traffic and converting that with what I'd say is very basic affiliate content here. Yeah, so I don't believe that Google's going to want to keep, rewarding them with organic traffic when their site is no longer about what they believed it was about based on the links. And the links to their site are no longer relevant to the actual substance of the site. I don't see that as being something that will stand the test of time and last forever. And I believe that the owner of this website knows that, because that's why they're selling it. You have to ask yourself, if a site is 7 months old and on this rapid growth path, why would you sell it? I mean, it is not very hard to run an affiliate content site. I mean, I can't really think of any easier business model than an affiliate content site. Especially when you're producing the profit to pay for the content and you don't actually have to write it yourself. You can outsource it, just keep producing content, just keep building it up. If it's doing this well at 7 months and this is sustainable, why would you sell it? Why not hold on to it for another year or 2 years and this traffic is going to, I don't know, hell, even if it does nothing, assume it does nothing, it's going to go up. The value of the site is going to go up. I don't know, where they're basing these numbers. Okay, so they said that it's doing $10,978 in profit. I'm guessing that is an average of the last, it looks like it would be about an average of the last 6 months, right? But in June, it made $25,361, right? So what if you could just do another $25,361 for the next 6 months and make a valuation based on that? So if they were, what are they asking for it? 36 is what they were asking. So they were asking, they're asking $395,000. They're asking basically $400,000 for this site, right? What if you could just do, the site's on a growth path. Let's just say it's going to be stable at that 25,631. Oops, that's 35. 25,361 times 6, right? So there's that 6-month average. Excuse me, that's not the 6-month average. That's a 6-month total. There's your 6-month average if it's just going to stay stable at this, right? And then multiply that by 36. Now you got a $900,000 site. So you could more than double the value of the website, theoretically, or more than double the value of your exit in 6 months by just doing nothing and holding on to it. Why wouldn't you do that? Well, quite frankly, I believe that the owner of this site doesn't believe that this is sustainable. They're seeing this, okay, this thing took off real quick. It's built on an age domain. We don't know how much longer this is going to last, so we might as well sell now. That's my thoughts on it, and quite frankly, I feel sympathetic or sorry for whoever bought it based on this valuation, because I don't see this as sustainable in the long run. That said, let's kind of go back to the original question: should you build a site on an age domain? Even though it may not be sustainable, as in what I think is going to happen with this example here, I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. It could give you a jump. I mean, it all comes down to budget, right? Spending, what would be $4,000 to $5,000 on an age domain, isn't such a bad thing if you can pull off numbers and revenue like this, and recoup that fairly quickly. While I say this may not be sustainable, it may not be sustainable at $25,000. What if it drops 75%? Well, now you're down to a roughly $8,000 a month site, and that is something that you probably could not have gotten quickly from a site that's a brand new domain, So it all depends on the price you pay for it, but I think that these ones here at, what are $4,000 to $5,000, I guess, is that where they're all going? Yeah, I don't really see anything more than that. Yeah, I don't think that is necessarily a bad deal. So if you're going to blow it up like this and make, this kind of money on your site, well, yeah, it may not be a bad deal, but, if the revenue takes off like this, certainly don't get comfortable living on your $25,000 a year. Know that could drop, save the money, move it into alternate investments besides the website. So yeah, while I do think that this site here is not sustainable long-term at this revenue, I don't think that it's necessarily a bad deal to buy a domain, an aged domain at these prices, if you can really use that to churn out some serious revenue numbers. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Are aged domains worth it? I want to hear from you guys.